Good evening, Addison, and welcome to the combined meeting of the committees for Monday, December 4th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Del Rosario.
Here.
Reyes. Here. Nasty.
Here.
Co-chair Hunley.
Here.
Cluzny.
Here.
O'Brien. Here.
Item number 2 is consideration to approve the minutes of the November 20th, 2023 combined meeting of the committees.
Make the motion.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Item number 3 is audience input regarding agenda items before the committee. Have none. Item number 4 is discussion of accounts payable. Earlier this evening, we reviewed the following directives. Directive number 24-43 in the amount of $1,922,825.83. Directive 24-44 in the amount of $476,081.04. And directive number 24-45 in the amount of $241,293.74.
Make the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is consideration of an ordinance authorizing the disposal or sale of surplus property owned by the Village of Addison.
Make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is disposal of non-functioning PC and electronic equipment or possible sale of some of our fire station loading equipment to probably Norcom has approached us with the purchase offer.
Very good. No questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from N-Logic Consulting for the Extreme Support Annual Contract in the amount of $59,985 and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 620.9962-4110 and 100.1530-4110.
Make the motion.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We are asking for waiver of bid with N-Logic. They are responsible for all our switch programming. They also include some of the cybersecurity work with the firewalls and all with ACDC and the member agencies as well.
Right, and we have been working with them for a number of years. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG for Palo Alto PA 3250 support with internet filtering and threat prevention at the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center for 3 years through the State of Illinois contract pricing in the total amount of $134,123.36 and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 620.9962-4105 and 100.1530-4105.
Make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is a purchase off a state-approved contract through CDW. This is our set of firewalls at the dispatch center. This is the primary firewalls for the dispatch center as well as the backup firewalls for Village Hall.
Very good. 3-year contract.
It is a 3-year contract, correct?
Great. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from ABEEP LLC for the purchase of upgraded microwave infrastructure and the total amount of $55,537 and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 100.1530-4304.
Make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We are asking for waiver of bid on this. ABEEP is our current support for our data microwave network for the south agencies, fire agencies. This leg is part one of an additional microwave loop in the south. This will connect the Hodgkins Tower to the I-55 tower and provide redundancy connections for those south member agencies.
Okay, I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Excuse me. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Item number 9, consideration of payment number 5 to Integral Construction, Inc. of Romeoville, Illinois, for the Village Hall Equipment Garage addition in the amount of $50,208. Funding in account number 440.9944-4405.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Up for your consideration is payment number 5 to Integral Construction of Romeoville, Illinois, in the amount of $50,208. The work invoiced was through September. It was inspected, found to be in order for the work that was completed. Therefore, we request your approval at this time.
Very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, consideration of a payment to Addison Mechanical Services, Inc. of Arlington Heights, Illinois, for the new Siemens Niagara front-end upgrade BAS system at the Public Works facility in the amount of $38,080. Funding in account number 440.9944-4404.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On August 21st, the village board passed a resolution approving to allow Automatic Mechanical to perform the BAS upgrade to the Public Works facility. The work has been completed 100%. Staff has reviewed the finished product and is satisfied with the work. Therefore, payment is requested at this time.
Great. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Item number 11 is consideration to accept the proposal for the purchase of acoustical leak detection equipment from Eden Brothers LLC of St. James, Missouri, in the amount of $19,844. Funding in account number 500.5010-4304.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you, Rick.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair. This item for your consideration is to accept a proposal for a replacement of leak detection equipment. So our water department uses acoustical leak detect to identify exactly where main breaks are, or within a couple of feet, they hope. So this is replacing an existing unit. All of our staff are trained and have been using this particular unit over the past 20 years, so we'd like to replace it in kind. Unfortunately, there's only one supplier for the Midwest, and that is the Eden Bros. So we're requesting then approval of the purchase of the acoustical equipment in the amount of $19,844.
Okay, I have no questions on this item. It seems like an item that pays for itself.
It does, yes.
Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12 is consideration to award bid number 23-9-1 for wastewater biosolids hauling to Stewart Spreading, Inc. of Sheridan, Illinois, in the not-to-exceed amount of $225,000. Funding in account number 500.5032-4176.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you. Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Recently, the village went out to bid for contracted services for our biosolids hauling at both of our wastewater treatment facilities. There were 3 bidders. The low bid was from Stewart Spreading of Sheridan, Illinois. As you can see, all of it is in unit pricing, but we do have a budget cap of $225,000. The village attorney has reviewed this contract. This is a new vendor for the village. We checked references as well with other municipalities, and all were favorable. And And then the review by our attorneys on the contract, everything is in order there as well. So we're asking for your approval then. This would be a 3-year with prices locked within a couple options for additional 1 years after that 3-year period. So requesting your favorable approval then of this bid award.
Very good. And this is a new vendor, as you mentioned, and we've checked you've checked the references. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 13 is consideration of payout of the final retainage to Morrow Sewer Construction, Inc. of Des Plaines, Illinois, for the Winthrop Park Avenue Water Main Replacement Project in the amount of $37,879.53. Bid number 22-9-1. Funding and account number 500-2410.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you. Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item is for consideration to pay out final retainage to Morrow Sewer. They completed the water main project on both Winthrop Avenue and Park Avenue this past year. We were holding some retainage for some of the parkway restoration and a few other things to be taken care of. They have all been since completed and checked by both our staff and our consulting engineer. So the final amount then of the retainage to pay out is $37,879.53. We're requesting approval at this time.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14 is consideration of change order number 1 from Muscat Painting and Decorating, Inc. of East Dundee, Illinois, for the 2023 ornamental street light pole painting project in the amount of $7,478. Bid number 21-11-2. Funding and account number 100.2510-4180.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you. Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This past summer, Muscat, this was their 3rd year under contract to perform ornamental light pole painting. This is the black poles up and down Lake Street. Our typical cap for the budget is $50,000. However, right at budget time, the board did approve an extra $20,000 so that we could finish the remaining sections of Lake Street. But we had not increased the contract. So this request is to approve a change order. The estimate then is $7,478. So we won't need all of that $20,000, which is good, but that would then complete those sections of Lake Street. So we're asking them to approve this change order in the amount as specified for Muscat Painting.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15 is consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with 3M Company.
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you. Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item and the one that follows are both related. They are regarding a class action settlement that has been made with 2 chemical companies for chemicals now that we're finding throughout the environment. PFAS and PFOS is a class of chemicals. Many of you have probably heard of this in the news recently. But on behalf of the water systems, the public water systems, there was a class action lawsuit. So we received information about, there was one for 3M, which is the one that is in front of you right now. And this would be then the authority then to fill out the claim form and to take part in that class action lawsuit with other with other public water drinking systems. It was this particular settlement with 3M is a total of $10.5 billion settlement. So of course we'd receive just a very small portion of that. And it is really for us because we have to do some additional monitoring of our water. So that will help. That's what the money's intended for in our group in the class action lawsuit. So this then authorizes us to proceed with the claim in the 3M class action suit.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16 is consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with the Chemours Company, FC LLC, DuPont, de Nemours Inc., Corteva Inc., and EI DuPont, de Nemours and Company, now known as EIDP Inc.
Make the motion to approve?
Rick, I'm
Thank you,
sure
Madam
I killed those
No,
names.
you did that. That was good. So this item for your consideration then is a resolution regarding then the second company, we'll just call them DuPont for sake of combining all of those different names over the years. Again, this is to offset any additional costs that are now on us as public drinking water systems, and for us to then fill out the claim and enter that class action suit against DuPont. We're seeking your favorable approval then of this resolution.
Very good. I have no questions. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Motion.
Motion carries. Item number 17, consideration of a resolution approving an extension of the water supply contract between the DuPage Water Commission and the City of Chicago.
Make the motion to approve?
Second.
Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item, this resolution, is for approving for us to proceed, or for the DuPage Water Commission to proceed with renewing the contract with the City of Chicago. So as many of you know, we purchase our water through the city, through the DuPage Water Commission, and actually the 30-year contract has come up. So it was back in 1994 when we officially got Chicago Water. So it is in discussions with the other municipalities and the DWC, it was suggested that we extend the existing contract with the existing terms with the City of Chicago, but that period only be for the next 10 to 15 years. So that is to give them the ability then to sign a contract with Chicago somewhere within that range. This is really the best deal for us, for our ratepayers, for our water payers. The current rate we pay now for the water from Chicago is $4.54 per thousand. They are expecting an increase later this next year, which is within the ability of the contract. So requesting approval then of this resolution for us to allow DuPage Water Commission, and since our vote as one of the municipality members, to extend that contract with Chicago.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 18 is consideration of an ordinance approving a water purchase and sale contract between the DuPage Water Commission and contract customers. Staff has requested a waiver of second reading on this item.
Make the motion to approve?
Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item was related to the previous one, so this is a revised contract with us and the DuPage Water Commission, along with all the other municipal and other partners in the DuPage Water Commission. There were a few changes to that contract, primarily because that was the initial contract, so some of the language, some of the things for payments were paying off, some of the initial infrastructure that was built. So there were some changes. They were attached in the in the agenda packet for everyone. It has been reviewed by our attorneys as well. So we're recommending then approval of the ordinance, which would then enter into our contract again with DuPage Water Commission.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Rick.
Waive second.
Yeah, that'll, I mentioned that we are waiving second reading on that, and we'll make the motion for that at the board meeting.
Thank you.
Item number 19 is consideration of payout request number 2 to Brothers Asphalt Paving, Inc. in the amount of $1,211,999.89 for construction work for the 2023 fiscal year 24 MFT annual street maintenance project. Funding in account number 250.9925-4401.
Make the motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you. Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. This item for your consideration is payout request number 2 to Brothers Asphalt in the amount of $1,211,999.89 for this year's MFT Streets and Sidewalk Maintenance Program. Total work completed to date is approximately 99% of the project. And as such, staff is recommending reducing retainage to 2%, leaving a balance of $36,867.28. The invoice before you tonight has been reviewed by our staff. We've also received all waivers of lien. Those have been checked and been verified. So barring no questions from the committee, staff is requesting your favorable consideration of approving payout request number 2 to Brothers Asphalt in the amount of $1,211,999.89.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Building Zoning Development Committee items. Item number 20 is consideration of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 196 North Addison Road.
Make the motion?
Motion second on discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of the redevelopment of 196 North Addison Road, detention facilities, stormwater management facilities, and a water main loop was installed on private property. In order for the village to access the site, should we need to, in the event of an emergency, for repairs and maintenance, we need to establish an ordinance for a plat of easement as part of this request. The ordinance before you tonight was reviewed by our staff. It was also reviewed by our village attorney, and we found that to be acceptable. So tonight, staff is seeking your favorable approval in approving the ordinance establishing the plat of easement.
Very good. I have no questions. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Item number 21 is consideration of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 50 South Fairbank Street.
Make the motion?
Motion second on discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is really a repeat of what I just indicated. Also, detention facilities, stormwater management facilities on a water main was installed for the development for the warehouse. It was built at 50 South Fairbanks. So again, in order for the village to be able to access in an emergency event, we need to establish an easement so our staff can get on site for maintenance purposes. Again, this ordinance was also approved by, reviewed and approved by our staff as well as the village attorney. So tonight we're seeking your approval of the ordinance.
Very good. I have no questions. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike. Item 22 is consideration of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for Frantisek Bohanec for the property at 17 West 210 Red Oak Street. Is there a motion?
Make the motion?
Motion is second on discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The request tonight is an approval of pre-annexation agreement, so the petitioner is able to construct a brand-new single-family home and connect to our village utilities. The petitioner is aware of this typical village standard requirements for 2,500 square feet minimum home size and 50% masonry, but the petitioner requests to build a more modern style home. If you look at your packet, it is less than the minimum 2,500 square feet. That's more of a policy. It's not a code requirement, more of a policy for when we annex properties into the village and they're developed for single-family homes. In addition to that, instead of the 50% masonry, they're proposing an ephes or a stucco finish with siding. I've talked to the petitioner. The petitioner is willing to put up like a hardy board siding, which is a cementitious material or masonry type material. As part of the rezoning, staff recommends this to be zoned R2 single family to be consistent with the surrounding properties. However, if approved tonight, the property would still remain unincorporated because it's not yet contiguous or it's not adjacent to the village boundary. But the petitioner is requesting our utilities for that benefit. The home would meet all the setback requirements for the R2 district, so there's no variations that would be necessary. In addition, I should say, to applying for a building permit in the county, they would also apply for a building permit in Addison. That way we can make sure all of our codes and standards are complied with when the property is eventually annexed. This request was brought to our Planning and Zoning Commission on November 8th, and after some discussion, a positive recommendation was given. I'm not sure if the petitioner actually showed up. I don't think so. He was told of the meeting, thought they were going to be here. But if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
No, I have no. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, so yeah.
Yeah.
Questions from the committee? Then hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And then item 23 is consideration of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for, all right, Mike, help me out here.
Mr. Grzelak?
Yeah, there we go.
That's what I would do.
Thank you. For the property at 4 North 160 Mayfair Drive. And staff was, at the board level, will be asking to request a waiver of second reading.
Right, thank
Is
you.
there a motion?
Make the motion?
Motion second on discussion. Mike?
Thank you.
Thanks for that, by the way.
No problem. This is almost a repeat of what I just presented. The only difference is that the petitioner here is not requesting a smaller home or masonry materials, less than 50%. They're willing to comply with that, but they are requesting some variations. With this particular house that's being proposed, it's actually, they've applied for the permit in the county already, which is why they're asking for the waiver of second reading, so we'd be holding them up if not. So we appreciate your consideration in that. But the agreement contains variations for minimum lot depth and area requirements, as well as a reduction in the rear yard setback from 40 to 25 feet. The property is currently vacant. It was split off from the adjacent property to the south, or the single-family resident to the south, back in 2005. In 2005, the village granted approvals to the lot to the south, but didn't grant any approvals for this remnant lot, so it's kind of making it non-conforming, which is why the petitioner is requesting the variation. I mentioned before about the 2,500 minimum requirement they'll comply with, as well as the 50% masonry. They would also be required to obtain a permit from the village as well as the county for this. And again, if approved tonight, the property would still be unincorporated, but would be annexed in as soon as they become contiguous to the village. This also was brought to the Planning and Zoning Commission on November 8th, and after some discussion, there was a unanimous decision to recommend the project. As you mentioned, Chairman, the owner was requesting the waiver of second reading. I don't think the petitioner's here tonight. I thought he was going to be here, but again, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
No, I don't have any. Mike and the Planning Commission didn't have any issues with it, so I don't see any either. Any questions from the committee? Then hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And moving on to Public Health, Safety, and Judicial Committee items. Item number 24, consideration of ordinances amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code as it pertains to the number of Class D liquor license for K1 Speed, Inc., to eliminate the license, and Paddock Lounge, LLC, to issue a new license at 2381 West Army Trail Road.
Make the motion.
Second.
Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, tonight before you is to amend Chapter 3 to eliminate that Class D liquor license. And K1 Speed, which is located at 2381 Army Trail, they're looking to separate the food and beverage portion of their business and introduce Paddock Lounge. Paddock Lounge would then take over that liquor license if approved here tonight. We did meet with the Liquor Advisory Commission on November 7th of this year, and it was unanimously approved to bring it before you tonight for your favorable approval.
Okay. And everything will remain the same, and we've done this for others as well?
Yes, very good point, Madam Chair. We do have other existing businesses in town that are set up in the same business type way, where you have a general business and then a liquor establishment or food within it.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Does anyone on the committee have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Item number 25, consideration of a resolution adopting the 2023 DuPage County Multi-Jurisdictional Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The village participates currently right now in the countywide multi-jurisdictional natural hazardous mitigation program. One of the reasons why we do this is they have the ability to qualify for federal funds just in case there's a natural disaster or hazard that occurs within the community. The county plan is required to be updated every 5 years to meet federal regulations. The updated plan provides risk assessment capabilities and integration of mitigation measures, as well as mitigation goals, an action plan, and a planned maintenance for the county as a whole. The resolution before you tonight was reviewed by your staff, DuPage County, as well as many other jurisdictions. The resolution was reviewed and approved by staff and the village attorney. Everything was found to be acceptable. So at this time, staff's requesting your favorable consideration and approving a resolution adopting the 2023 DuPage County Multi-Jurisdictional Natural Hazardous Mitigation Plan.
Sounds good to me. Does anyone on the committee have questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mike.
Thank you.
Item number 26, audience participation. You can step forward to the microphone. Please state your name and your address, please. Each of you.
Hi, my name is Sam Farina. This is my dad, Chuck Farina, and we reside at 602 Willow Glen. We are asking for help from the village to restore our damaged property as a result of an improperly maintained culvert and catch basin. In the past several years, it has been evident that large boulders and large tree trunks block the drainage system. We have proof of this. This blockage has caused the water to rise to excessive heights and extreme turbulence. It is the responsibility of the village to maintain this system, which is on village property. We live at the end of the drainage ditch, and we are the only home that experienced the erosion of this magnitude. We are formally asking for this problem to be resolved in the 2024 year's budget. Hopefully, we can resolve this. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any comments from the questions?
I think staff has had numerous conversations with Mr. Farina, and he understands what the issues are, which weren't clearly delineated at this point, so we'll continue to have discussions. Thank you for being here.
We're looking for resolution is what we're looking. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for something this is
Well, I will,
for 3 years.
well, and the fact that there was illegally built property on an easement that caused part of the problem is a mitigating factor.
It's not on the easement.
All right, I'm not going to debate with you right now. You've talked to staff endlessly. You've been explained what the issues are. Joe, if you want to comment, go right ahead.
No, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for coming in. Staff is going to look at this problem. We have met with you. I've met with you personally at your residence. We'll continue to look at it. We have reached out to Burke Engineering as well, and staff will be looking at a possible fix to the area. I'm not going to get into the semantics of whose property it is and whose it is and whose responsibility is where that lies, but we will be willing to work with all of our residents, and you'll see something coming forward and with a cost estimate too.
Any idea when?
The budget year starts in May 1st.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
Item number 27, executive session. Doesn't look like one is needed. Item 28, other business at the discretion of the chairman. Nothing. And item number 29,
Motion to adjourn.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the regular village board meeting for December 4th to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustees Del Rosario,
Here.
Huntley,
Here.
Kluzny,
Here.
Nasty,
Here.
O'Brien,
Here.
Reyes,
Here.
and Mayor Veenstra.
Here. Would everyone please rise for the pledge? Today's invocation will be given by Pastor Dave Akak of Messiah Baptist.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you thanking you for this day, thanking you for this time of the season when we celebrate the birth of your Son. Lord, we ask that you would be with our village officials, help them in the decisions they make that affect us all. We pray for our first responders, that you would protect them and keep them safe. We do ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Okay, item number 4 is approval of minutes. We have actually 5 different sets of minutes to approve. I'll lump them together unless there's an objection to that. We have approval of the minutes of the November 20th Village Board meeting, the November 20th public hearing for the tax levy, the public hearing for the Ancona Jewelers, the public hearing for Quick Trip, and approval of the minutes for the November 18th Special Village Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The minutes stand approved. Item 5, proclamations, appointments, and presentations. We do not have any this evening. Item 6, audience input regarding agenda items before the board. We have none. Item 7 is the consent agenda. 7A is approval of accounts payable.
Earlier this evening, the committee recommended approval of the following directives. Directive 24-43 in the amount of $1,922,825.83. Directive 24-44 in the amount of $476,081.04. And Directive 24-45 in the amount of $241,293.74.
Thank you. Item B is the approval of payment number 5 to Integral Construction Incorporated of Romeoville, Illinois for the Village Hall Equipment Garage Addition in the amount of $50,208. Item C is the approval of payment to Atomic Mechanical Services Incorporated of Arlington Heights for the new Siemens Niagara front end upgrade BAS system at the Public Works facility in the amount of $38,080. Item D is approval of the proposal for the purchase of acoustical leak detection equipment from Edinburgh's LLC of St. James, Missouri in the amount of $19,844. Item E is the approval to award bid 23-9-1 for wastewater biosolid hauling to Stewart Spreading Incorporated of Sheridan, Illinois in the not to exceed amount of $225,000. Item 7F is approval of payment of final payout of retainage for Morrow Sur Construction Incorporated of Des Plaines, Illinois for the Winthrop Park Avenue water main replacement project in the amount of $37,879.53. 7G is approval of change order number 1 from Muscat Painting and Decorating Incorporated of East Dundee, Illinois for the 2023 ornamental street light pole painting project in the amount of $7,478. And 7H is approval of payout request number 2 to Brothers Asphalt Paving Incorporated in the amount of $1,211,999.89 for construction work for the 2023 fiscal year 24 MFT annual street maintenance project. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Item 8, ordinances and resolutions. 8A is the second reading of an ordinance levying taxes for the corporate purpose of the current fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2023 and ending on the 30th day of April 2024.
At our meeting on November 20th, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which levies the 2023 property taxes for corporate purposes for the current fiscal year. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given at the November 20th Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance levying taxes for corporate purposes for the current fiscal year, commencing on the first day of May 2023 and ending on the 30th day of April 2024.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario.
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. Items B through E are very similar in nature, so we will take them as one vote. It's the second reading of ordinances abating taxes of general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2015, Series 2016A, Series 2016B, and Series 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Motion and second to approve the ordinances. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ordinances stand approved.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like
roll
to ask
call
the
in
clerk to
there.
have a roll call since we're abating the taxes. That way it'll be on the record.
Sure.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario.
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinances are approved. Item 8F is the second reading of an ordinance adopting the Village of Addison's current paid leave policies and opting out of the Paid Leave for All Workers Act.
At our meeting on November 20th, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which adopts the Village of Addison's current paid leave policies and opts out of the Paid Leave for All Workers Act. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given at the November 20th Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance adopting the Village of Addison's current paid leave policies and opting out of the Paid Leave for All Workers Act.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario.
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8G is the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the disposal or sale of surplus property owned by the Village of Addison.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which authorizes the disposal or sale of surplus property owned by the Village of Addison. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the disposal or sale of surplus property owned by the Village of Addison.
First reading only. Item H is the first reading of an ordinance approving a water purchase and sale contract between DuPage Water Commission and the contract customers.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a water purchase and sale contract between the DuPage Water Commission and contract customers. The committee recommended approval, and waiver of second reading has been requested by staff. The attorney is asked to read the ordinance.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a water purchase and sale contract between the DuPage Water Commission and contract customers.
Motion to waive second reading?
Motion and second to waive second reading. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario.
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario.
Yes.
Huntley.
Yes.
Klusny.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
And Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. Item 8I is first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 196 North Addison Road.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a plat of easement for 186 North Addison Road. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 196 North Addison Road.
First reading only.
First reading. Item 8J is the first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 50 South Fairbank Street.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a plat of easement for 50 South Fairbank Street. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 50 South Fairbank Street.
First reading only.
First reading. 8K is the first reading of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for F. Bohannek for the property at 17 West 210 Red Oak Street.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a pre-annexation agreement for F. Bohannek for the property at 17 West 210 Red Oak Street. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for F. Bohannek for the property at 17 West 210 Red Oak Street.
First reading only.
First reading. 8L is the first reading of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for P. Grizzlack for the property at 4N160 Mayfair Drive.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a pre-annexation agreement for P. Breslick for the property at 4N160 Mayfair Drive. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested, and staff has requested a waiver of second reading.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a pre-annexation agreement for P. Grizelek for the property located at 4 North 160 Mayfair Drive.
Motion to waive second reading.
Second.
Motion is second to waive second reading. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the ordinance. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8M is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class D liquor licenses for K1 Speed located at 2381 West Army Trail Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which decreases the number of Class D liquor licenses for K1 Speed, Inc., located at 2381 West Army Trail Road. The committee recommended approval, and waiver of second reading has been requested by staff. The attorney is asked to read the ordinance.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class D liquor licenses for K1 Speed Incorporated located at 2381 West Army Trail Road.
Motion to waive second reading?
Second.
Motion and second to waive second reading. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Motion to approve the resolution, ordinance?
Motion and second to approve. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8N is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses for Paddock Lounge LLC located at 2381 West Army Trail Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which increases the number of Class D liquor licenses for Paddock Lounge LLC located at 2381 West Army Trail Road. The committee recommended approval, and waiver of second reading has been requested by staff. The attorney is asked to read the ordinance.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses for Paddock Lounge LLC located at 2381 West Army Trail Road.
Motion to waive second reading?
Second.
Motion and second to waive second reading. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8O is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from Enlogic Consulting for the Extreme Support Annual Contract in the amount of $59,985 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves the estimate from Enlogic Consulting for the Extreme Support Annual Contract in the amount of $59,985 and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from Enlogic Consulting for the Extreme Support Annual Contract in the amount of $59,985 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second. Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8P is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG for Palo Alto PA 3250 support with internet filtering and threat prevention at the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center for 3 years through the State of Illinois contract pricing in a total amount of $134,123.36 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from CDWG for Palo Alto PA 3250 support with internet filtering and threat prevention at the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center for 3 years through the State of Illinois contract pricing in the total amount of $134,123.36 and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG for Palo Alto PA 3250 support with internet filtering and threat prevention at the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center for 3 years through the State of Illinois contract pricing in the total amount of $134,123.36 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second. Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8Q is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from ABEEP LLC for the purchase of upgrade microwave infrastructure in a total amount of $55,537 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves the estimate from ABEEP LLC for the purchase of upgraded microwave infrastructure in the amount of $55,537 and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving the estimate from ABEEP LLC for the purchase of upgraded microwave infrastructure in the total amount of $55,537 and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second. Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8R is consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with 3M Company.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a settlement claim form with 3M Company. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with 3M Company.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second. Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8S is the consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with the Chemours Company, the Chemours Company FC LLC, DuPont, Corteva Incorporated, and EI DuPont and Company EIDP Incorporated.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a settlement claim form with the Commerce Company, the Commerce Company FC LLC, DuPont de Nemours Inc., Corteva Inc., and EI DuPont de Nemours and Company, now known as EIDP Inc. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a settlement claim form with the Chemours Company, the Chemours Company FC LLC, DuPont de Nemours Incorporated, Corteva Incorporated, and EI DuPont de Nemours and Company, now known as EIDP Incorporated.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Second. Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
The resolution is approved. 8T is consideration of a resolution approving an extension of the water supply contract between DuPage Water Commission and the City of Chicago.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves an extension of the water supply contract between the DuPage Water Commission and the City of Chicago. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving an extension of the water supply contract between the DuPage Water Commission and the City of Chicago.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Second. Motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8U is the consideration of a resolution adopting the 2023 DuPage County Multi-Jurisdictional Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which adopts the 2023 DuPage County Multi-Jurisdictional Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution adopting the 2023 DuPage County Multi-Jurisdictional Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Hundley?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Reyes?
Yes.
Resolution is approved. Item 9, Mayor's Report. I have one request this evening, and that's the approval of a yearly raffle permit for widows or widowers for monthly raffles from January through December of 2024 at the VFW Hall. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The request is approved. Item 10, Officers' Report. Village Attorney.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Village Manager.
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Village Clerk.
The Part 2 of the Christmas Parade will be this Saturday, December 9th. It steps off at 4:30 p.m. From the west side of Indian Trail Junior High School. Also, keep in mind that the Christmas holiday, the Village of Addison offices will be closed Monday, December 25th, and Tuesday, December 26th. Also, keep in mind the New Year's Day holiday. Village offices will be closed Monday, January 1st. That's it.
Thank you. 11 is Commission Board Reports. We have none. 12, Executive Session. We do not need one. 13 is Audience Participation. 14.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.